Welcome to my video where I'm going to talk about magnets. I'm using the EUDAX stem kit to do this demonstration. What I'm going to show today is we're going to talk a little about, I'm going to demonstrate how the magnetic field lines show up with the two different types of magnets. So that's the part of the stem kit that I'm doing today. First of all, we've got they give us 3 magnets in the kit. These 2 bar magnets, what they're called, they have north and south ends. And so what I'm going to do is show you, just to get an idea of where the magnet is oriented, or the compass here, okay? Now I know that's north at my house, or approximately north. I've got these compasses in the room, so I was messing it up. But the yellow is going to point north, towards the magnetic north pole is the way we define it on the Earth. So now that gives us an idea. So this is the south pole, this is the north pole of this magnet, and you can see that that's the way it should point. It should point towards the south. Now if we rotate this around, now the magnetic lines are going this way, and we rotate the compass needle, moves around, and now the south end is pointing towards the north. And then we continue to rotate this around, it comes back around again. So you can see the compass aligns with the magnetic fields here to point to the correct direction. Now on the horseshoe magnet, that's a little bit different because we've got a north and a south end, and it's bent in the form of a horseshoe. So there's the south end of the magnet, and it points to the north. Now if we flip over here, it goes this way. And then if we rotate around it, you can see it just kind of points as the magnetic field lines change. It's going like that. Okay, so that's one way of kind of mapping out the magnetic field lines. They're strongest near the poles. Well, another way of doing it is we're going to put down this magnet. Now we're going to put this north and south. I'll put a piece of paper over it. And what I'm going to do is going to sprinkle iron filings. This came with the kit. I've already taken them out of that little packet. So I'm going to try to do this without too much. There's kind of an art form of doing this properly. Probably need a salt and pepper shaker would be the best way to do this. Okay, I don't want to put too much of it, just a little bit. It's just the right amount of this stuff that kind of shows you what you're doing here. Okay, there we go. That's starting to map out the lines. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's the south end of the magnet, the north end of the magnet, and you can see the magnetic field lines are strongest right around the poles, because that's where it's clustering, and then they circle around like this. They go from the north to the south. And so that kind of shows you where the lines of force are actually at, the way they kind of work around the magnet itself. That's kind of cool. Now, let's do that with a bar magnet and see what that gives us. That should give us a little different impression, definitely because your magnet's a different form. Okay, south, north, put that down there. Try to sprinkle these around, not making too big of a mess. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay, that shows it pretty clearly. Here's your strength right there. That's where the magnets, the 2 ends of the horseshoes, that's where your strongest magnetic field is. You can see the lines kind of come in here. They go around here. It gets a little confusing because this magnet is the way it's bent. But the main thing is that there's your strength and lines right here between the 2 poles. And then they kind of curve around the magnet, kind of map out the magnetic fields around the horseshoe magnet. So that gives us some idea of what we're seeing there as far as the magnetic field go. Just to give you a quick summary, make sure you got a little bit of knowledge about magnetic field lines. In theory, what they do basically is the field lines leave the North Pole, so this is the North Pole, and return to the South Pole. And this is just by convention. Just like I said, the Earth's magnetic field, we could call it the North Pole. And that's just, we have to define a direction, and that's the direction they define in science for the different poles. So, hope you got a little bit of information about magnets and how they work out of this video. And thank you for watching.